Yo, how to learn how to code in the shortest time possible. One, don't listen to the hype. Don't listen to no AI, no bullshit about AI taking your job. AI is not going to take your job. Don't listen to nobody at all, okay? I'm not a guru. I'm just a person who taught himself how to code just like you. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm getting there, okay? But yeah, the reason why I can sit here and say what I'm saying is because I've been streaming for close to 60 days. Today is day 60, streaming every single day, coding by myself with a little bit of help from AI. Obviously, I'm going to tell you why you need a little bit of AI. I'm not saying go ahead and use AI, but let me walk you through every single step that you need to learn how to code. This is no BS, but no bullshit at all. So if you're going to sit here and just think I'm going to bullshit you, bro, just this video is not for you. And if you're going to sit here and judge me and say, oh shit, why am I listening to you? All right, sorry, that's unprofessional, but it is already. So learn to code by yourself, no BS. Okay, as y'all can see, this is a simple roadmap that I put together, through my research and other things. I'm gonna tell you one thing straight. If you're starting out, do not really watch so much tutorials because you'll only get stuck in tutorial hell, which is not good for you. So no BS. Let's get straight into it. All right. So when you're starting out, you first begin with HTML, CSS. And how do you learn HTML and CSS? The reason why I say them in combined together as HTML, CSS is because you need the two. All right, HTML and CSS. You cannot do CSS without HTML. Obviously, you will need to create HTML tags and all that stuff to color them or style them. So how do you begin and where do you go? All right, now let me make it easier to you. There is this website. Go to cssbutter.dev. You might sign up or you might not. There are a lot of people online as well, so you can go here and just style these divs. You give them width, you give them anything. You see your effect. You see the effect of what you've done just here on the right or on the left, whatever. If you're left-sided, I guess, I don't know. Anyways, so after that, after you finish this, I'm just gonna go ahead and build the entire roadmap with you. So here we have an arrow that is gonna take us to HTML, CSS. After that, because I know a lot of people been asking me on stream how to learn, what was the roadmap. This is the roadmap. Okay, after this video, bro, if you bullshit yourself, it's on you. All right, so after that you go boom. I don't want to ramble too much, so let's go CSS, then boom, you go to JavaScript. Now the reason why I didn't even spend so much time explaining to you HTML, CSS is because you're just gonna figure these ones out along the way, bro. Once you start playing the games that I showed you just a second, playing these games and also just doing it in your code editor or whatever your choice is, you'll understand, oh, what the hell is div? Okay, then why are they having this? Or how are they putting it like this? Now this is not the best way to learn CSS, obviously, because then you know how to, like, let's say for example you want to target a div. How do you target a div? You got to give it first either a class or an ID, and then you open a new page called CSS, and then from there you target. You say dot. The dot will go for the class, and then the hash symbol will be for the ID. It depends on how you want to target the exact HTML element that you need. Okay, that one is for you to do your research. Don't be lazy. Not everything is going to be given to you on a silver plate. So after you're done with this, you go straight to JavaScript. And now when you reach here, this is where most people find their first hurdle, bro. And do not fear, bro. You shouldn't fear. Once you go to JavaScript, don't rush. Okay, learn your HTML, CSS. Do not rush at all. After you reach JavaScript, take a deep breath and give yourself, for HTML, CSS, I would say give yourself a week. Okay, 5 to 7 days, that's maximum. If you find yourself spending 2 weeks in CSS and HTML, that means you got some mental problems and you should not be following this roadmap. Okay, that's this for people who are serious. All right, after that you go boom, you go to JavaScript, then you go to Tailwind. No, I'm joking. That's not the way you're supposed to go. I was just trying you if you're following. Okay, all right, from JavaScript, now there are things that you need to follow only in JavaScript. You don't have to learn everything. If you go here to JavaScript roadmap, you see there's a bunch of stuff you have to learn, and I promise you this is not beginner friendly at all. Any foolish beginner will just go here and just follow the entire thing. No, that's not how you're supposed to learn, bro. You need only targeted learning. Okay, you go from here, you start with your variables. Boom. After you learn your variables could be, how do you select, let's say for example cons, you have let, you have var. Don't touch var is deprecated. I don't know if it's deprecated, but var is just, people don't use var in JavaScript. Okay, some languages still use var like Flutter, other things, but do not use var in JavaScript. Okay, just use either let or cons. When you use let is if you know this variable will change in the future time. Okay, if, let's say for example you want to use this variable right now, and then in another function you want to change that variable to something else. All right, go ahead and use let. And if you don't want the variable to change in the future time, just use const. That's it. That's your variables. When you're done with that, don't waste time. And again, in variables, just go straight and learn data types. Now, what is data types? You will have to research it, bro. I'm not gonna sit here and teach you everything. Okay, you just gotta research as well. What's data types? When you're done with variables, obviously we learn data types. Data types can be the primitive and non-primitive data types. The primitive data types are like ints, your floats, your numbers, your whatever. Int is still a number, okay? Your strings, all this stuff. Okay, you will figure it out as you go. Okay. After that, you go to arrays and objects, okay? Because arrays and objects is something that you use the most when it comes to JavaScript. I promise you, you will use arrays and objects in almost every single stuff that you do. Every function, you will have an array or you will have an object. You're not going to dodge that, okay? So you go ahead and learn an array. How do you define an array? You're going to figure it out, okay? Let's say, for example, you want to say let or const. You give it a name, that's a variable. The variable can be like let array, which is represented with arr. You can even use the entire name array, and then is equals to, then you open this. It's almost like, I don't know how to say it, but I can just only show you, right? You open something like that, okay? You put something like this and something like that, and then inside will be an array, okay? Don't follow what I'm what I'm doing here. You just learn it the better way, okay? Oh my god, I can't, for some reason I can't delete this. Okay, I can only delete that. Cool. Now after you learn arrays and objects, you go straight to control flows. Now what is control flows? You'll also do your research on that. It is simple. Control flows is your if else statement. So you start with if. What is if? Say if this number is greater than 4, all right, then do this, okay? Or else do that, okay? Let's say for example print 4 if this number is greater than 3, okay? And then if it's less than 3, print 3 or print 2 or something like that. You'll figure it out, okay? Control flows is very important. You will need it for also data structures later, and then you'll also need it obviously when you're building projects. You cannot dodge control flows. It depends on which project you're building. So as you can see now, we have most important things that I think you should learn: variables, data types, arrays, control flows, and then from there you continue going. We're still on JavaScript, okay? We go boom, you learn loops and iterations. Now the loops and iterations is something that you will need like religiously. I'm not gonna sit here and bullshit you, bro, and tell you that, hey, no, you're not gonna need these. Oh, you're gonna learn it at your own pace. No, bro, you're gonna need the control flows whether you want it or not. And the loops and iterations. Now the loops can be the do while loop, the while loop, the for loop. And for loop is the most important one, because then you learn for each. You will learn also to just use for, let's say for example you want to iterate between the elements, right? You will use those of maps. You'll use a lot of things. Let's say you have like an array of like objects. So you have 10 objects, all right? How do you display those 10 objects? You will learn it through loops and iterations. Just go do your research. You will learn. After that, you go boom, you come here, then you learn functions. Now this is where now the juicy part of JavaScript starts to hit, okay? I don't know how to put this, but yeah, I'm just gonna do it like this. Okay, the juicy part of functions, when you reach functions, that's where you start to appreciate JavaScript now, because this is where you're going to have objects. You're going to have things that you don't want to repeat yourself. Okay, let's say for example you want to create a function called say hello, and then inside that function you're returning something like, hey, my name is whatever your name is. And then after that you want to say that name, you want to, oh my god, display that same thing like 10 times. Okay, you don't have to write that function 10 times. You're just gonna go ahead and just pick that name of the function, then you invoke it or you call it. Okay, then it will be something like say hello, then yeah, you just put it in that little, I think, parentheses or brackets or whatever you call it. Okay, you just print it out 10 times. You put it down 10 times, and then once you print as console.log, you learn how to use a console and all that stuff. Then it will print the same statement that you wrote inside the function 10 times, okay, or the same function or whatever you call it. Okay, that is it. That's the most important part. You're going to learn also functions, and after that, boom, you go to the big dog, which is the DOM manipulation now. And this DOM manipulation is a document object model, right? Now, the entire point of document object model is very simple. It's not simple per se, but it's easier for you to understand it with a box analogy. Okay, let's say you have a box just like this big. Okay, you have a box this big. All right. Now, this box, you're going to have another box inside. Okay, and hold on, excuse me, bro. All right, you're gonna have another box inside, and then you're gonna have another box inside. Okay, now how do you manipulate things inside this, because this is now you're going to be interacting with the browser. Okay, you're going to be interacting with the browser APIs, you're going to be targeting certain elements on the browser, and this is where your knowledge of document object model will shine, because that's where you are now going to go into the world of web development. Okay, everything that we've been doing here is things that's just um things that is just foundational. You don't really put so much practice. Okay, but once you get to the DOM manipulation, that's when you get to see, oh shit, I can click a button and it can change the color of an element. Okay, cool, I can change this exact position of this picture. Let's say I'm putting my picture, your big ass picture, I'm putting it in the center. Okay, I can put it on the left, I can put it on the right. Everything will be handled by the DOM. Okay, that is it. That is your document object model. That is your DOM manipulation. Here is where you're going to spend 90% of your time if you genuinely want to get better at JavaScript. Now, this is all for JavaScript. Okay, once you're done with everything here and then you've understood document object model, yeah, there you can go ahead and build projects. Now, what projects do I want you to build? I don't know. It will depend on you, my brother. I'm not going to sit here and spoon feed you everything. Okay, you can choose. I'm not going to sit here and tell you what projects to build, but I'm going to give you a little bit of some advice, or projects. Oh man, oh my gosh, I can't speak. But projects you need to build, you can start simple. Okay, start with the basic calculator, how to build a calculator. That's where you're going to your knowledge of document object model will come in. Like, okay, say on click on this button, all right, let it change this, or let it add this, let it add these two numbers, let it give us the addition, whatever. Start with your basic calculator, and then go to like a word. Like, let's say for example, you want, whenever you click a button, it just prints a different, let's say a different quote. Okay, it's going to be a quote generator. Then you can go to the weather apps and all that stuff. Now, for me, I wouldn't really encourage you to build projects so much with with vanilla JavaScript. That is just pure JavaScript. I wouldn't want you to go that route. So that's why I'm keeping this empty. This will be determined by you. Okay, if you think you have that time, oh yeah, if you think you have that time, my brother, go ahead and just build projects and use vanilla JavaScript. That's on you. I don't encourage you to do that. That's just me. All right, after you're done with JavaScript here, that's where you're going to figure out, like, damn, CSS, bro, is super complicated. Like, imagine every time I have to open a new window just to create a CSS, and then that file will get so big, and then boom, all of a sudden your code base, you cannot handle it, because it's a lot of things you have to cater for, and styling, it shouldn't be your priority unless you want to be stuck on the front end. And I would encourage you to start with the front end anyway. So what is front end, you'll understand it with time. So you will notice that, oh damn, CSS, there's something that I can use it, that can simplify my work, which is something like inline styles. Okay, you have, let's say for example, a div. Let's say you go here, inside here, and then you have a div, right? Rather than having all these words, once you're using Tailwind, you'll have something like class or class name, whatever you have, and then boom, here you can put your styles. Let's say you want width, this will be something like width 100%. You can, I think 100, I don't know if 100% is 102, something like that. You'll figure it out, my G. But I always stick with small numbers. Like, let's say width this, and then height that. You just have to type this, like this small code is the same as everything here. Then for background, you can say bg this, and then you add custom something, same color here. You can just pick this same color, and that's it. That's literally it in Tailwind. And that's when you discover, like, wow, that's actually easy. And then guess what though? Something is about to supercharge your Tailwind. Okay, and that's something we're going to discuss right now. We're not rushing it. Okay, when you're done now with this Tailwind, once you understand the quirks of Tailwind and everything that goes into it, you go inside something called Tailwind Playground. Okay, Something like that, man. I'm not gonna waste your time, okay? I'm just being straightforward. Something like that. I think it's tailwind play. All right, this is where you're going to see and appreciate the importance of tailwind, okay? This is it. I'm not telling you to go use Bootstrap. I'm not telling you to go use SaaS or something like that, SSS or something like that. I don't know. Don't do that. Just stick with tailwind. Like I said, it's gonna be enough for you. All right. When you're done with that, boom, there you go to React now. Now, you're not going to go to React direct from Tailwind, okay? I would say learn Tailwind with React. That is my own opinion. But if you want to go direct to Tailwind, it depends on you. But me, I'll put it like this. Right after learning JavaScript, after finishing document object model and all that, that is when you should start with React. Now, when we go to React again, we have a whole lot of things to worry about, okay? But I'm going to make it simple for you. From React, you come here to learning components, okay? And how do you style the components? This is where we're going to have our tailwind. All right, simple as that. Now, as you can see, we are now having something that is like, okay, cool, they're meeting at a certain point. Okay, at some point, yep, at some point we wanted to go direct to React, but now guess what, our knowledge of Tailwind is going to come in handy here, because we are going to style these components. Okay, we are styling it with Tailwind. That is it. Okay, once you learn how to style your components and what is components in general, then you can go ahead and learn your JSX. And what is JSX is you to do your research. Okay, JSX, here you can later on when you start learning TypeScript, you'll also change this to TSX. It will depend on you. Okay, how do you learn JSX? It will also depend on you. Now, after learning components, and then you've gone to JSX, you come back here and do your props. Okay, once you're done with props, and this is where props is going to, the reason why props is very important is because you're going to learn to now just distribute. Let's say I have a component, right? I have a component and I want to give it header, I want to give it a title, I want to give it a description, and I want to give it something like a name, okay? Or something like, let's say, I don't know, like a meme or something, all right? There you have those three things. Now you want to take those three same things and then distribute them among different other components. Let's say 4 other components, okay? You don't have to go and create 4 different components of the same information, title this, title that. Then you're just going to share the same exact logic, right, between those 3 components. Okay, and there's something you need to pay attention. Okay, there's something called prop drilling. That's something that is very common for people when they start learning props. Okay, prop drilling, you should avoid it at any cost, my brother. I'm not saying it's some scary thing, but once you start learning props, just keep this at the back of your mind. I don't want to get lost during prop drilling. All right, after that, you go ahead and learn state. Now, this state is still connected to the components. As you can see, everything is still connected to the components. Now, what is state? State is where you're going to, your world is now going to get into real React. Okay, you're going to learn how to use state, and then you're going to learn how to use effect. Then you're going to learn how to use ref. And the last thing you're going to care about is use context. Notice how I've given you only 4 states. Okay, there's use state, use effect, use ref, use context. See, bro, the order of you learning them is very important. Okay, you could go ahead and just learn everything randomly, but this is very important. Okay, there are a million other states in, I don't know, in React, in whatever that you're gonna need, right? In React, there are a million other states, but this is only the 4 that you need to care about. All right, if you just care about building apps and you want to like get your skills going, this is all that you need. Okay, after that, now after you've learned everything here, then now you can go ahead and learn TypeScript. Okay, the reason why I encourage you to learn TypeScript, you can learn TypeScript direct with JavaScript at the same time, or you can learn TypeScript just right after learning React. There is nothing wrong with it at all. Okay, here as you're learning React, you're just learning you're using pure JavaScript. That's why we have here JS. Okay, but you could still just learn it as well with the React, and then you are gonna have something like, hold on, yep, you're gonna have here, we're going to have TSX as well. So every single thing you're seeing here can be done with TypeScript as well. Why? Because everything that is JavaScript is valid TypeScript, but not everything that is TypeScript is valid JavaScript. You get it? Because JavaScript, I mean, TypeScript is a superset of JavaScript. Okay. Yeah, you guys know, like, that means JavaScript is a subset of TypeScript. Bro, I'm not gonna sit here and just tell you all that. It's cool. You learn it as you keep going. Okay, now the reason why I left this Zod here, this is like the last thing you should worry about, because this is gonna be handy when you learn TypeScript. So Zod will be some form of form validation when you start using forms. Okay, because obviously once you're doing front end, you're going to need to build forms. Like everything you're seeing here will come in handy also with forms. Okay, you're gonna have to create, like, let's say, a login form, sign out form, like a contact me form. You go, everything will be an input, and yeah, that's it, bro. That's it. And then you learn Zod. Zod will validate your input and say, like, it's like, let's say you have a form input called name, okay, and it's supposed to take a string. Zod will make sure it's a string. If anybody just comes in and just puts a number, it will yell at you that, hey, bro, you put in a number where you're not allowed to put a number. Okay, that's the main point of Zod, and it's not that important. Yeah, I would say it's not that important if you're starting out, but once you want to get your skills at some point where you're getting better, okay, that is it. You just add Zod. Now everything here looks complicated. I know, my brother. Don't worry. Just take it step by step. If you've been following me, you'll understand. You'll get everything. Okay. Now once you're done with this TypeScript, start building projects. Okay, here start building a projects as well. Now you can skip your way through here. You can skip TypeScript and Zod just after learning use context from this. After learning all this, you can still come direct from React as well and start building projects. And that's something I would encourage if you're really starting out and your skills are like very low. Okay, if your skills are very low, I'd say start building projects right away. For some reason I can't take this here. All right, man. Yeah, I get the point though. My presentation is very poor. Okay, cool. Now this is where people get lost in the where people now get to teach you, like, bro, no, you don't have to do React, you do Angular. You don't have to do React, you gotta do Vue, you gotta do Svelte, you gotta do a bunch of stuff. No, bro, that's bullshit, bro. Just say F you to them and just do what you gotta do what I'm telling you right now. Follow it and you're gonna learn how to code by yourself, bro. That's all. Okay, now after you start building projects here, you will notice a lot of things, okay, about React. It's like, bro, god damn it, bro, there is no server-side rendering in React. What is server-side rendering? Okay, cool. For here, you're just gonna do everything in the browser. All right, everything that's here is happening in the browser, and you'll think, okay, is that something bad? No, it's not something bad. But let's say your application grows. Now you're going to get rid of these use contexts. You're gonna have a lot of things, bro. It's like, use context. Imagine just for you to, like, go from page to page. Let's say you want to go from page to page. Okay, you're gonna have to use context on everything. Or sometimes you might use external things like React router. You want to route to different pages within your app. You will just create unnecessary re-renders that will just make your application slow. So you think to yourself, okay, cool. Now for some reason I need to like re-render everything just easily. Okay, I want to make everything easy on myself. That's when you will need something called Next.js, and you're not gonna really directly dive into Next.js without knowing React. Obviously you need React because everything that's React is the same Next.js. Next.js is just a boosted version of React. Okay, Next.js is going to help you to apply things like server-side rendering. It's going to also allow you to maybe add simple things like SEO. It's not simple, but yeah, SEO for your page to rank higher because everything will be rendered on the server, and then you'll just get the static pages. That is all that you're going to need with Next.js. But Next.js comes with a lot of things. Okay, Next.js deserves its own roadmap as well. Just let me know in the comment section if you need Next.js focus roadmap. Okay, I'm not gonna go there. And yeah, so that's it. After building projects and you find that the difficulties I've told you, you start facing, like, damn, React is this, then that's when you'll come to Next.js. Don't come to Next.js if you haven't started building projects in React. That's just my opinion, and that's gonna be it, man. I'm not gonna sit here and just like, oh my god, I spent, I don't know. Ah, man, it's 20. How is it even 24 minutes? I just wanted it to be like 10 minutes. All right, it's all good, bro. It's all good. So that is it, man. If you appreciate everything that I've told you, go ahead and subscribe and let me know what your thoughts are. And yeah, if you want to watch the streams as well, I stream every single day. You can jump on the stream and find us streaming live. and see for yourself. Okay. I'm currently doing backend with microservices. You haven't yet gone to the backend. Start with the front end, like everything that I showed you. Once you learn it all, then you can come and join me in the backend. Okay. I love you all, guys. See you on the stream. If you jump on stream, it is what it is. If you don't, also just subscribe and see you on the other side of the table. Okay. Much love, man.